After being scratched by the fox beast again, I went to the hospital alone, the nurse complained. With such a deep wound, there's definitely going to be a scar. Has your beast ever received socialization training? I forced a smile. Yes, he's an outstanding graduate. My phone suddenly rang. Lu Xian rarely sends me so many messages. It's just a few scratches. Is it really necessary to go to the hospital? I'm hungry. Come back quickly and cook for me. Following you. I can't even get a proper meal. You really take terrible care of me. Did he really think that? I turned to the orc office and said, I would like to replace my orc. The staff at the orc office were very polite. She asked as usual, you and your orc have been registered for a year, and you will soon be able to form a bond. Why choose to replace the orc now? A bitter taste rose in my mouth. It has already been a year. I once eagerly anticipated the bonding ceremony, excitedly discussing ring designs with Lu Xian. Lu Xian curled his lips mockingly. Do you think you're worthy of me? Crying won't help. I will absolutely not form a bond with you. Let me kindly tell you, inferior human, crying is truly disgusting. I am indeed the most inferior human, only capable of doing basic tasks. Despite all my efforts, I still couldn't meet the living conditions Lu Xian desired. In fact, being able to buy a pure-blooded fox beast man like Lu Xian was an accident. I swallowed the lump in my throat. He doesn't like me. You could even say he detests me. The receptionist showed a surprised expression. Trained orcs will wholeheartedly love their masters. Normally, such a problem would absolutely never occur. Yes, the problem that shouldn't have happened was exactly what I encountered. I tried to smile as casually as possible. Maybe it's just bad luck. The staff member showed an apologetic expression. Our training is at fault. Please don't blame yourself. Come with me, too. Back then, buying Lu Xian cost 500,000. I can choose and replace orcs at the same price. Glancing over the faces that are slightly less impressive than Lu Xian's but still beautiful, the profile states, fox, leopard. I hesitate. Is there anything else? I want a canine, preferably a golden retriever. I hear that golden retriever type beast men really like humans. Even inferior humans would probably enjoy it, wouldn't they? The staff member smiled politely. Not at the moment, however. Beast men are bred quickly, and the next batch will be available in 2 months. As compensation, we will allow you to make your selection first. I nodded. When the staff member saw me out, a photo that hadn't stuck properly fell out of the manual. The man in the photo had cold gray vertical pupils, a high nose bridge, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Looking strikingly handsome, he was a werewolf. The staff member sighed. Actually, he's the most obedient beast man here. The higher-ups want to try opening up a new track, but everyone is afraid the werewolf will go berserk. The leader is afraid of losing money, so today they're going to sell him to the arena. But he's been raised to be very gentle since childhood. Going to the arena would only mean certain death. No one wants it. It's really pitiful. No one wants it. I'm also unwanted. But the staff member sighed even louder. I heard that if you go to the Colosseum, you'll be torn apart piece by piece. You can't even pick it up. That must be painful. Werewolves should count as dogs too, right? I stopped in my tracks. Is he really obedient? The staff member's eyes lit up. Absolutely. Then I'll take this one. 3. The staff member said the werewolf would be delivered in 3 days. I carefully tucked the adoption agreement into my bag. On my way home, from a distance, I spotted Lu Xian and Shi Yuan. The white-haired beastman stood bathed in the glow of the sunset, his deep-set eyes and delicate features resembling a work of art. Shi Yuan is a high-ranking human from the neighboring community, smart and elegant, completely different from me. After she met Lu Xian, she always came to deliver high-grade nutrient solutions. The two of them were unusually close. I slowed my pace. Shi Yuan spotted me. Off to work again. She gave a subtle smile. Not to be harsh, but even though you're about to form a bond with Lu Xian, you should still make an effort with your appearance. Look at what you're wearing. What is this? Walking down the street, who would believe you two are a couple? I looked at my simple t-shirt and jeans, then at her beautiful dress. I think this is fine. Lu Xian didn't look at me, his voice low. She doesn't look good when she dresses up either. It's better to pretend she doesn't know how to dress. That way, no one will say she's truly ugly. Shi Yuan hit his arm. Lu Xian, how can you say that about a little girl? Lu Xian smirked. It was a seemingly perfect smile, yet filled with Sarcasm, you think you're doing her a favor, but she just thinks you're meddling. Inferior humans can't understand the thoughts of superior ones. Being bought by her was the worst luck of my life. For actually, Lu Xian wasn't like this before. Even if I couldn't provide him with the nutrient solution that a high-level orc needs, even if the clothes I bought would chafe his delicate skin, Lu Xian always firmly said that meeting me was his fortune. The turning point was when we ran into Lu Xian's former competitor, the Red Fox, on the street. My bag fell to the ground, and Lu Xian helped me pick up the scattered items. The Red Fox got out of the car and stepped right onto Lu Xian's hand. He exclaimed, "Isn't this the most popular Lu Xian? How did you find such an ugly inferior person?" But then again, a defective product matches an inferior person just right. Lu Xian locked himself in his room for the entire night, and I stood guard outside the door for the entire night. I told him that it's wrong to divide people into 3, 6, or 9 ranks, so Lu Xian being labeled as defective by the beast men doesn't matter. We were living so well, weren't we? Lu Xian opened the door, his eyes red and swollen. You've never been in the sky, so of course you think being trash is fine. Later, he got to know Shi Yuan. Shi Yuan came from a noble background and could offer Lu Xian a lot. They grew closer day by day, and sometimes during conversations, Shi Yuan would lean against him. I cautiously brought it up once. "You're my orc. Could you keep some distance from Shi Yuan?" Lu Xian looked down at me from above. His gaze was both cold and resentful. He said, "Fang Yi, if it weren't for my flaws back then, how could you have possibly bought me? You're just taking advantage of someone in a vulnerable position. Why do you act like the master?" But it was Lu Xian who begged me to save him in the first place. 5. In this new era, male beast men have taken on the role of assisting humans in reproduction as the most outstanding orc. Lu Xian fetched an astronomical price at the auction house before being diagnosed with infertility. Orcs who can't reproduce are unwanted, even at a reduced price of 500,000. He's worthless in the eyes of the human population with reproductive needs. His superiors plan to send him to the red light district to recoup their losses. That day, I was just about to go buy an orc of my own. Lu Xian broke free from his restraints and knelt before me. "Please, save me," he cried with his face up, tears like pearls streaming from his beautiful eyes. "I will treat you well, and become your family. I don't want to die, please. I grew up in an orphanage, never having a family." Lu Xian's words touched me. Although I love children, having one family member seems just right. I spent all my savings and even took out a loan to buy Lu Xian, afraid of hurting Lu Xian's pride. I never brought up the past again. I never expected to hear it from his mouth again, only to be accused of taking advantage of his situation. I argued with Lu Xian, standing my ground. I accidentally touched his hand during the argument. He reflexively pushed me away forcefully. The sharp corner of the table cut into my arm, the wound deep enough to see the bone. Lu Xian was momentarily stunned but didn't move. "If you hadn't tried to touch me, how would you have gotten hurt? You brought this upon yourself." He wouldn't even accompany me to the hospital, saying, "I'm going shopping with Xiuan today. Besides, even if I went, I couldn't help alleviate your pain. You have hands and feet of your own. Don't blame me for everything." The nurse sighed as she applied the medicine to me. "Such a deep wound is sure to leave a scar. It will hurt on rainy days from now on. You and your orc are so incompatible. Maybe you should just let it go." It suddenly dawned on me, right, I could just let it go. Lu Xian and I don't need to be tied together for a lifetime. Thoughts returned. I spoke up, interrupting Lu Xian as he was closing the door. "Lu Xian, do you really think being with me is torture?" Lu Xian paused, turning back with that same mocking expression. "Yes, but someone like you, who managed to get lucky with me, would you really be willing to let go? I've had a sticky problem that I can't shake off my whole life." I let out a sigh of relief. It seems my decision was correct. Lu Xian, growing impatient waiting for my response, flicked his drooping tail against the ground. "What exactly are you trying to say?" I lowered my head, picking at my fingertips. "I've prepared a gift for you. You'll know in a few days." A fleeting, unreadable emotion crossed Lu Xian's face. It seemed like anticipation, but soon, he reverted to his sarcastic tone. "Don't tell me it's another low-purity nutrient solution that even a dog wouldn't drink. I still have to waste my effort flushing it down the toilet." I answered very seriously, "No, it's what you want most, freedom." Lu Xian muttered, "It better be." and closed the door tightly. 6. Shi Yuan arrived early in the morning. Lu Xian and I agreed to go shopping. His taste is quite similar to mine, so we have a lot in common when we go out together. You won't be angry, will you? Shi Yuan's eyes sparkled with a probing light. Usually, I would sulk and not let Lu Xian go. He doesn't want to accompany me outside. What's the point of always accompanying others? But today I also have something to do. I don't mind. Before Lu Xian could even make a disdainful expression, he got stuck, looking a bit strange. Fang Yi, aren't you angry? I put on my coat. No anger, you can go wherever you want. Today is the end of season sale at the mall. I need to hurry and buy some necessities for the werewolf. Shi Yuan linked her arm with his, coquettishly. Isn't it better if she doesn't cause trouble? Stop talking nonsense. Let's go. Watching them get close, I didn't feel the same bitterness as before. I just slipped on my shoes and walked away quickly. The people in the ordinary shopping mall are always crowded, no matter the season. Mostly, it's the lower-class people shopping with their ordinary beast men. Everyone jostled together, but their faces were filled with happiness and contentment. I couldn't help but be infected by this atmosphere. When I get my new beast man, I should be just as happy. I'll never hear Lu Xian say that trash deserves cheap goods again. He wouldn't coldly mock this mall again. Finally leaving in public, leaving me embarrassed alone. What I've always longed for is just an ordinary and warm beast man companion. If it weren't for encountering Lu Xian's plea for help, I would have already lived such a life. It was only when the sky darkened that I arrived home. For the first time ever, Lu Xian was actually at home. Usually, he wouldn't come back until late at night when he was with Shi Yuan. Lu Xian sat on the sofa with his arms crossed, his face unable to conceal his anger. Where have you been? You didn't even make me dinner. Putting up with a hard life with you is one thing, but I can't even fill my stomach. You really raised me poorly. I sipped my milk tea and set down the shopping bag in my hand. Oh, I thought you would eat at Shi Yuan's place before coming back, and you didn't want to eat, did you? Last time it was your birthday. I spent the whole afternoon cooking, and you dumped it all in the trash. Lu Xian was left speechless. I focused intently. Unpacking the things I had bought for the werewolf, chew toys, grooming combs, fish oil. Lu Xian had somehow appeared behind me without my noticing. Have you been raising me like a dog? I don't need such things for inferior orcs. My fur is ruined by this comb, and this fish oil isn't pure. Forget it. Since you've already bought them, I'll reluctantly try them. This isn't for you. I interrupted him. Lu Xian's hand, holding the comb, paused. What do you mean? I turned back to look at his perfect face. I'm not worthy of a high-level beast man like you. I've already submitted the transfer agreement. In a couple of days, you won't have to see me anymore. 7. The clock ticked, emitting a crisp, rhythmic sound. Lu Xian and I stared at each other in silence. After a long while, Lu Xian's tightly furrowed brows relaxed. What Shi Yuan said is indeed true. What? He said resolutely. You just saw us being intimate and are using retreat as a strategy, hoping to make me regret it. Now you're talking about switching caregivers. She said you have a lot of schemes, and she was right. Do you think scaring me with a few words will make me fawn over you like those cheap orcs? I didn't want to argue with him anymore, so I mumbled softly. If you think so, then it is. My attitude seemed to provoke Lu Xian instead. He excitedly tore the calendar off the wall, the 20th of next month, which I had marked with a fluorescent pen in the shape of a heart. Isn't it just that you want to form a bond with me? You pressured me to tell you what kind of ring I wanted 6 months in advance. And you forced me to live with you. If you want something from me, you can just say so. Don't you feel dirty using tricks? Beast men have an obligation to accompany humans. At first, I thought it was because I wasn't familiar with Lu Xian, but later, it was because he wasn't willing. We haven't had any intimate relationship up to now, even holding hands. I've only seen him do it with Shi Yuan. Whenever I show signs of sadness, Lu Xian mocks. Shi Yuan fell, and I just helped her up. We're not as filthy as you inferior people. I stared at Lu Xian and suddenly felt he was a stranger. I used to think he was perfect, while I was just an inferior human being, so whenever problems arose, I always thought it was my fault, but he was never satisfied, and I grew more and more anxious. Lu Xian asked me if I was worthy, and I instinctively felt that I wasn't. So over the past year, I have wholeheartedly liked him and tried every way to get closer to him. In Lu Xian's eyes, all of this became calculated and an attempt to covet him. that heart was drawn when I was filled with love. I don't think it's a dirty thing to like my beast man and want to have a close relationship with him. Lu Xian was still angry. He tore up the calendar and scattered it all over the floor. I'm telling you, even if I bond with you, I will still keep in touch with Shi Yuan. If you want to get close to me, you must ask me first. We can't let anyone see that we know each other when we're walking on the street. Lu Xian, I interrupted his incessant chatter. The latter glared at me angrily, feeling as if he hadn't said enough. My heart has never been calmer than it is now. No wonder you're defective. I spoke slowly, word by word. What bad luck to have bought you. Lu Xian's golden pupils contracted sharply, his white, fluffy tail standing straight up. He's all puffed up. 8. The staff sent by the orcs arrived right on time. Lu Xian stared intently at the werewolf named by Jia. He was very tall, his muscles bulging out of his short sleeves, forcing me to look up to see his face, straight eyebrows, slanted phoenix eyes, and a scar on his forehead, a bit fierce. This is my first time encountering a fierce orc. I feel a bit intimidated. Will this werewolf listen? Bai Jia seemed to notice my fear and proactively bent down to let me touch his furry ears. He spoke softly. Hello, master. I am Bai Jia. The staff member was still the same receptionist lady. Her name is Xiao Xing. Xiao Xing said with a grin. Don't be afraid. I've watched Bai Jia grow up, and he's very gentle. However, the Beastman Institute is currently undergoing renovations, so Lu Xian's reception will take about 2 more weeks. Can we temporarily place him in your care for fostering? The Beastman Institute will cover the fostering fee. As Xiao Xing spoke, I could feel Bai Jia's furry tail brushing against my ankle. Trembling with excitement at a small frequency, I didn't say yes or no. Lu Xian remained silent the entire time. It wasn't until Bai Jia tried to tug on my little finger that he lightly uttered 2 words, dirty dog. Bai Jia trembled, his tall frame shrinking into a ball as he squeezed tightly into my embrace. Master, he's glaring at me. I'm so scared. My worries have been laid to rest. Who said werewolves have bad personalities? This werewolf has an excellent personality, so gentle and obedient. Just what I wanted. Xiao Xing's smile instantly vanished. She put on a serious expression, showed her work ID, number 4561, Fox Beast Man, Lu Xian, right. Lu Xian's face gradually lost its color. Yes, I officially inform you on behalf of the Beastman office that your owner has entrusted us with a change of custody. The Beastman office is extremely disappointed with your dereliction of duty. 2 weeks from now, we will proceed with your recycling. Please be prepared. After Xiao Xing left, Lu Xian pulled Bai Jia away from me. Bitch, what are you doing? Acting out of habit now. Bai Jia fell to the ground, his hand hitting the corner of the table, immediately turning red. He didn't fight back, just got up from the ground with a grievance, looking at me cautiously. My heart twisted into a knot. I pushed Lu Xian aside and went to help him up. Are you okay? Lu Xian crashed into the wall, groaning in pain. Fang Yi, I know you're playing hard to get, even bringing a damn dog back to force me into a contract. You go withdraw the agreement right now and send this worthless dog back, otherwise, I will absolutely not form a contract with you. I turned around, already at the peak of impatience. Lu Xian, let me tell you one more time, I don't want you anymore. 9. Lu Xian stormed out. I tended to Bai Jia's wounds. He kept turning his face away and backing off. My heart skipped a beat. Are you regretting it? I was afraid of encountering a second Lu Xian, so I decided to lay out my situation first. Following me means no access to high-grade nutrient solutions. My income can only afford us ordinary things. Because I'm an inferior human, I work 2 jobs a day, so I might have a bit of a sweat smell in the summer, and I don't look that great either. If you feel embarrassed, I can take you back. I said it as casually as I could, quietly wiping my damp hands behind my back. Bai Jia turned her face away. His gray eyes were sparkling. I'm sorry. My heart sank heavily. So it really was like that. Bai Jia's eyes were red-rimmed. I'm sorry. I'm just too happy. I was so happy to be with my master that I couldn't control my expression. I was afraid I looked ugly, so I didn't dare to look at you. He choked back tears. I thought I was going to be sent to the arena, but they suddenly told me that someone wants me. I held my owner's photo at night and couldn't believe it. Someone really wants me. I was afraid I was dreaming. Owner, I think you are very cute and beautiful. I don't feel ashamed. I'm so happy I could cry. I Have never been happier than I am now. He's so silly. He's already crying. Xiao Xing said that Bai Jia is so timid because no one wants him, not even daring to speak much. He said so much in one breath. He must have been holding it in. My heart feels like it's being brushed by something soft and fluffy. It's so itchy, so restless. Is there really someone who is happy because of me? Am I dreaming too? I held his hand, and his palm was also covered in sweat from nervousness. It's very hot, not a dream, I said. Don't call me master anymore, just call me Yi. 10. When Lu Xian returned, he brought Shi Yuan with him. He entered the room, making a clattering noise as he tidied up. Shi Yuan stood at the entrance, her eyes filled with disdain. Yi, after working for so many years, you bought such a small house. Have you ever reflected on whether you're not working hard enough? Today, Lu Xuan came to see me, saying you want to change your beast man. You really don't know how lucky you are. If I had such a great beast man, I'd sell my blood and cut my flesh to support him. How could I ever drive him away? Lu Xian was very sharp. What kind of judgment can inferior people have? You found a stinky dog. The whole house reeks of its foul smell. Anyway, it's only 2 days. No need to argue with them over trivial matters. I lowered my head and continued combing the fur on Bai Jia's tail, because he couldn't sell it. The orc never groomed his fur. I really need to give it a good combing. Having tangled fur is very uncomfortable. Lu Xian and Shi Yuan took turns belittling me, one after the other. Bai Jia suddenly spoke up. Foxes are the ones that are smelly. Lu Xian burst out of the room, his whole body on fire. What did you say? Bai Jia stood in front of me. I said you're a flirtatious fox, with a master still out there flirting around. Indecent, lacking in male virtue. If you can't hear me clearly, I can repeat it 10 more times. I was surprised. Bai Jia looked timid, but her words were so sharp. Was it for me? A hidden warmth rose in my chest. I looked at Bai Jia, who blinked innocently again and timidly snuggled back into my arms. Shi Yuan let out a snort through his nose. Fang Yi, since you all dislike Lu Xian so much, you should agree to him being fostered at my place, right? I nodded. I have no objections. Lu Xian threw down the clothes in his hand. Fang Yi, you've been wanting to get rid of me for a long time, haven't you? I stared at Lu Xian's feet. The shirt he was stepping on costs 1,000 each, while I'm still wearing a hoodie that was on sale for 200 for 3. I sighed. Lu Xian, isn't it you who wants to leave me? Lu Xian glared at me, repeating through gritted teeth. Yes, it's me who wants to leave you, not that you don't want me. I don't want to stay in this dump for even a minute longer, Shi Yuan quickly said. Lu Xian, don't worry, follow me home and I'll definitely give you the best. But Lu Xian didn't respond. The only sound in the room was the rhythmic thumping of his tail against the floor. After a long while, he took 2 steps forward and stopped, then turned back to look at me. I lowered my head, pretending not to notice. Shi Yuan's smile froze on his face. Lu Xian moved again, but this time to push Shi Yuan out the door. Although I don't want to be here, but since the Beastman Institute asked me to stay at Fang Yi's house, I'd better not break the rules. Shi Yuan, wait until I'm listed for sale. Then come find me at the Beastman Institute. The front door slammed shut, cutting off Shi Yuan's unwilling cries. Bai Jia looked at his motionless back and whispered in my ear, let's go back to our room. It's too late. We can sleep now. My ear was slightly warmed by his damp breath. Although it was a perfectly normal thing to say, I inexplicably felt something was off. Lu Xian suddenly turned around. Are you two going to sleep together? Bai Jia rested his hand on my shoulder. As if I were leaning against his broad chest, he seemed innocent. Yes, isn't it normal for me to sleep with my master, right? Predecessor brother. 11. I fluffed up the new bedding. Sorry, I'll clean out that room for you once Lu Xian leaves. It's a good thing the weather is warm now, so you won't catch a cold sleeping on the floor. But you're a wolf, so you should. Turning around, Bai Jia stood by the door, clutching his fingers, his ears drooping. I slowed my movements. What's wrong? You don't want to sleep on the floor, then you can sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the floor. Bai Jia's tail drooped, his eyes reflected a moist, glistening light. Is there something I did wrong? I don't understand. You're great. The werewolf is tall. Bai Jia knelt down with a thud, making the already cramped room feel even more crowded. His somewhat fierce face, illuminated by the warm yellow light, looked pitiful and helpless. Bai Jia crawled forward 2 steps and hugged my leg, tears streaming down his face uncontrollably. Master, whatever I've done wrong, I'll change it. Don't make me sleep alone. No pitfalls. Immersive translate. I learned how to serve humans in the Beastman school. My face burned with belated realization, so Bai Jia cried because we slept in separate beds. I instinctively reached out to wipe his tears. Bai Jia rubbed against my palm in response. Is it okay? He was a fierce orc, yet he cried with such grievance. I stammered. I just met you, and I was afraid you wouldn't be willing. Lu Xian wasn't willing. He said that having intimate relations with inferior humans was something he'd rather die than do. Bai Jia's kiss landed on my palm, damp and feverish. I'm willing to, Master. I want to have a child of ours. I want to protect you both for a lifetime by your side. I am a little dog no one wants. Only you take me. I like you. I am different from the foxes outside. My heart belongs only to you. I took a step back and fell onto the bed. I could feel Bai Jia's burning palm pressed against my calf. He knelt on the edge of the bed, removed his shirt, revealing a firm and beautiful body, but he was still crying. Please, have pity on me, give me a chance. My mind was in a haze, and my last shred of reason made me nod. In my daze, I managed to grasp a sliver of clarity and heard the rain falling. No wonder it was so hot and humid in the room. I reached out to turn off the light, but instead, I was pulled back. I spoke hoarsely. It seems someone is knocking. There's someone outside. Stop it. The kiss on my neck paused, then moved up to seal my lips. Are you still thinking about him now? You just like him more, don't you? I'm on the verge of tears. I don't. Then who do you prefer? I like you. I like you. Is that okay? As soon as the words fell, the noise outside the house stopped. Bai Jia contentedly turned off the light. 12. The next day, while getting dressed, every part of my body ached. I silently cursed. Really, just like a dog. Bai Jia pressed close behind me. You smell so good. No, it's sweet. Can we still sleep together tonight? I pulled open the door. Don't be like this. I can't even walk anymore. When I saw Lu Xian, my words abruptly stopped. The leather of the armrest was crumpled with wrinkles from Lu Xian's grip. His eyes were filled with gloom and anger. I felt a chill run down my spine under his gaze. Lu Xian's voice sounded as if it were squeezed from his throat. Fang Yi, have you no shame? Before I could speak, Bai Jia's hand rested on my waist. He adopted a sharp, aggressive stance. Fox, if I hear another word attacking Yi from your mouth, I will definitely bite through your neck. Lu Xian's pupils narrowed into slits, baring his canine teeth. You can come and try. I also wish I could strangle you right now. The signals of a male beast struggle filled the small room. I turned back and held Bai Jia's fingertips. There's no need to argue with someone who doesn't matter. He'll be gone in a while. Bai Jia's eyes flickered. He was the first to rein in his aura, lowering the corners of his eyes and pouting. He's so fierce. He really scared me. I rub his ears. The texture feels nice. That's just the kind of person he is. Don't mind him. Let's go buy you some pajamas. Lu Xian's figure sways a few times, his high, arched back softening. He stood straight in front of the door. Fang Yi, don't choose him. Don't you like me? Whatever he can do for you, I can do as well. Send him back now, and I'll pretend nothing happened. Behind him, Bai Jia's body suddenly tensed. I paused for a moment, then brought up another matter. You know, I grew up in an orphanage. Lu Xian was puzzled, and then, I fell into a reverie, so I'm very good at reading people's expressions. When you first arrived, I could sense that you were happy, content. Later, I realized your feelings had turned to annoyance and disgust. I tried to please you and made many efforts, but you always disliked me. You thought I was inferior, that I wasn't good enough for you. All of that is true, so, I made the decision to switch. I looked at Lu Xian. I believe you should be happy and full of anticipation right now. But why do I feel like you're jealous, angry? Lu Xian, can you tell me why? Dark clouds blocked the sunlight, making the room dim and obscuring Lu Xian's expression from my view. His fingertips were tinged with a cold bluish hue, likely from the chill. For a while, Lu Xian remained silent, feeling it was a waste of time. I pulled Bai Jia past him. Lu Xian grabbed my other hand. I turned back, and for the first time, the cracks appeared on his perfect face, like a broken porcelain doll. Fang Yi, he spoke up. I'm saying it now. I really like you. Is it too late? 13. This is utterly ridiculous. It wasn't until Lu Xian was beaten half to death by Bai Jia that I finally snapped out of it. I grabbed Bai Jia. Stop hitting him. If he dies, you'll go to jail. Bai Jia stopped, panting heavily, his knuckles covered in blood. You bastard, I like your master, homewrecker, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Lu Xian struggled to prop himself up on his elbows, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth with the back of his hand. Technically, I was here first, you're the homewrecker. Bai Jia roared and kicked him again. Lu Xian was completely still. I panicked and rushed over to check. Lu Xian clenched his teeth in pain, his eyes filled with hope. You still care about me, don't you? Making sure he wasn't in any life-threatening danger. I breathed a sigh of relief. I was afraid you were dead. Bai Jia is going to be destroyed. Lu Xian grabbed my wrist, his voice pleading. I don't need to go to the hospital. You heard it, right? I really like you. You said you wanted to form a bond with me, and choose matching rings. Let's go now, shall we? Lu Xian, I calmly withdrew my hand. Sure, Yuan agreed to buy you. You won't end up in the red light district again, so you don't have to grievance yourself out of fear. Don't pretend to like me. No. Lu Xian's posture was humble. I really like you. I'm not pretending. From the first day we met, I liked you. You are kind and hardworking. How could I not fall for you? Hearing him repeatedly assure me that he liked me, my first reaction was actually amusement. Why does his behavior count as liking someone? I tilted my head curiously. So, the way you like someone is by calling them disgusting and filthy, telling me to leave, hurting me, and then finally telling me it's my own fault. Lu Xian's face turned pale under my questioning. I softly concluded, Lu Xian, I don't need this kind of affection from you, and I would never believe that you truly like me. Stop deceiving yourself. I was certain he wouldn't be in mortal danger, so I pulled Bai Jia out of the house. 14. I took Bai Jia straight to the hospital. The nurse was the same one as last time. Her gaze at Bai Jia was filled with disdain. Is this your orc? You've been injured 3 times in a month, and you didn't even come with me. This time, I got hurt myself and still needed you to accompany me. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry and quickly explained, this is the orc I adopted. The nurse apologized awkwardly. Last time, I had low blood sugar, and it was Yi who cushioned me so I didn't get hurt. She's such a good girl. I thought you were the orc who bullied her. Bai Jia immediately looked at me, his expression complicated. He said softly, I feel so sorry for you. I am a very self-consistent person. When Lu Xian treated me badly, I would think it was because I wasn't good enough for him and work hard to improve myself, but I would also feel hurt, so I turned his emotions into nourishment for my growth, gradually becoming stronger. I believed that nothing in this world could move me anymore, whether it was the disdain of others or the harm from those close to me. But Bai Jia suddenly said he felt sorry for me. He felt sorry for my wounds, for my efforts, and told me that I was his favorite person in the world. He saw me, my heart was overflowing with bitter emotions, so much that they seemed about to spill out of my eyes. Had to look up and push Bai Jia's face back. Focus on your treatment. It turns out that in this world, there really is a reversal of fortune. I have no family, and I met Lu Xian, who doesn't love me. All the hardships along the way were for the ultimate purpose of bringing Bai Jia to my side. 15. For the next while, Bai Jia and I both tacitly ignored Lu Xian. Bai Jia found a job. I have hands and feet, and I'm a man. I can't let you support me. Only by working together can our lives get better and better. Only then did I realize, so this is what it means to live life together as two people. Lu Xian sat stubbornly on the sofa every day, watching us leave and return. The night before I left, he stopped me at the entrance of the community. I wait for you at home every day, but you don't even look at me. I really know I was wrong. Everyone makes mistakes. Why can't you forgive me just this once? I shook my head. I'm not blaming you. I understand you. You're a high-ranking beast man, and I'm an inferior human. I was able to buy you. It was indeed a bargain. So if you're not satisfied with your current life, not satisfied with me, I understand. Hope lit up Lu Xian's face. So you've forgiven me, right? I will definitely treat you well this time. Tomorrow, let's send that wretched dog back together. No, I replied calmly. Bai Jia won't be leaving. I think right now you're afraid to go to the red light district, which is causing you to misunderstand your own feelings. Once the adoption is complete, everything will return to its original course. Lu Xian shook his head desperately. No, I haven't misunderstood. How can I explain it for you to believe me? I really do like you. Seeing him break down like that suddenly reminded me of how I used to crave his love. It really was ugly, no wonder Lu Xian always looked down on me. Lu Xian covered his face and crouched on the ground, his voice choked with sobs. I realized long ago that I truly fell for you, but I couldn't accept the fact that you're just an inferior human. My pride made me insult you, saying things I didn't mean, as if that way, I wouldn't be willingly degrading myself, as if I'm only worthy of an inferior human. I enjoy the way you try to prove your love for me after I belittle you, so I always maintain the upper hand in our relationship, always being the highly sought-after superior beast man, but I forgot that I'm actually a defective product no one wants, and it's your love that makes me feel worthy of being cherished. Tears dripped from between his fingers onto the ground, splashing like water droplets, like shattered pearls. I finally understood what Lu Xian was thinking. He couldn't accept that he had fallen for an inferior human. He hoped that my admiration would prove that his liking for me was forced and reluctant. Looking at the person in front of me, I suddenly felt nauseous. That's disgusting. Lu Xian was at a loss, trying to comfort me. What's wrong? I wiped my mouth and pushed his hand away. Lu Xian, it's really over between us. 16. When Xiao Xing arrived, she was all smiles. Bai Jia is indeed very obedient, isn't she? Bai Jia quickly chimed in. Of course I'm obedient. Right? I couldn't hold back my laughter. Mostly obedient, Bai Jia mumbled. What is it? I've always been very obedient. The tall and large beast man doing this was unexpectedly cute. Xiao Xing asked me to sign the confirmation agreement. As I picked up the pen, I suddenly remembered the day I bought Lu Xian. We sat together, his nose red, tears and joy mixed together. Because he was so cute, I couldn't help but glance at him a few times. He was a bit flustered. Sorry, I'll pay more attention to my appearance in the future. I couldn't help but laugh. You look good now. Lu Xian smiled along with me. What's so good about it? That was one of the few times I saw him smile. I can recall the corners of his mouth curving into a smile, his left canine slightly longer. I shake my head, pushing Lu Xian out of my memories. No matter what, he's not that person anymore. Lu Xian lies in the room, his eyes vacant as he stares at the ceiling. Xiao Xing finished reading the announcement. Lu Xian self-deprecatingly smiled. I used to always think this bed was very uncomfortable. Today I realized, it's actually quite comfortable. He sat up and followed Xiao Xing towards the outside. He walked very slowly, but until he left, neither Bai Jia nor I looked at him again. I held the scissors, eager to try them on Bai Jia. I was watching videos, and the owner trimmed the fur on their beastman's ears into a round shape, and it looked so pretty. Let me try. But first, you can't get mad if I mess it up. Bai Jia obediently lowered her head, her ears as soft as two clouds. As long as I like everything you cut. The front door closed. Lu Xian left. 17. Much later, I heard from Xiao Xing that Shi Yuan did not buy Lu Xian. She found out that Lu Xian couldn't have children and threw a huge tantrum at the beast man market. She said Lu Xian wasted her time. He's clearly defective, yet he acts so arrogant. I didn't expect Shi Yuan to be unaware of Lu Xian's issue. What about Lu Xian? Was he sold to the red light district? Xiao Xing hummed. He's sick. Depression. Even talking to people is impossible. The leader can only apply for his disposal. Now he works at an orphanage. Being around those children, he becomes a bit calmer. After hanging up the phone, I was stunned for a while. Bai Jia hugged me from behind. Are you worried about him? If you're really worried, we can buy him back. I don't mind. Though she said she didn't mind. Her hands were almost crushing my waist. I turned back and pinched his face. When will you learn not to say one thing and mean another? Bai Jia is perfect in every way. It's just that he's always so cautious and eager to please me, willing to fulfill any request I make. I truly fear that one day, if I do something wrong, he'll still clean up after me. I hope he can feel more at ease and express his true feelings. I squeezed him hard, wanting Bai Jia to learn to refuse my unreasonable actions. But even with his cheeks turning red, he didn't react, instead looking at me with bright eyes. I felt frustrated. Why don't you say it hurts? You can refuse me. Bai Jia shook his head. You only pinch me, you don't pinch anyone else. It means you like me, I'm very happy, I don't feel pain, I felt amused, yet also annoyed. You really are, really. I kissed his swollen cheek. You're just too cute. After the kiss, I suddenly noticed the air in the room becoming sticky. Bai Jia was clearly agitated, his tail wagging non-stop. I wanted to run, but he had already grabbed my ankle. Our child will be even cuter than me. Would you like to try? I shook my head. I don't want to. It's still daytime. Bai Jia tilted his head, thinking for a moment, but still pulled me back. He was very serious. You said I need to learn to say no to you, then I refuse your reluctance. Was that what I meant? MMPH, stop kissing me randomly. Fortunately, I am a self-consistent person. Could this be considered the first step for Bai Jia to learn how to have a normal relationship? The end. Bai Jia Extra 1. Xiaoxing used to be my caretaker, but later she switched to reception work. I was always unwanted, and she was very concerned about me. The day before I was sent to the arena, she excitedly told me, "Someone wants you." She's a really wonderful young girl. The beast man she had before was the once most popular fox, Lu Xian. I know Lu Xian, the star of the Beastman Institute. Later, he was abandoned due to his flaws. I heard it was saved by an inferior human. A thought crossed my mind. Isn't such a good human liked by Lu Xian? Xiaoxing told me not to think of myself as a werewolf. She taught me 3 sentences. Become a cat, become a tiger, become a wet puppy in the rain. Love you, like you, you're so special. I want to build a family with you. Xiaoxing told me to firmly hold on to that human, grab her. She's a very good person. 2. Xiaoxing was being modest. This human is not just a good person, she is especially adorable. Her eyes are round like grapes, her mouth and nose are tiny, and her face is small. She's so cute I want to swallow her whole, keeping her in my mouth so no one else can see her. Her name is also very pleasing, Fang Yi, shining brightly. Does it represent our future life? Hee. We also slept together. Zzzzz. She smells so good. She is so sweet. 3. E cried in the hospital. She thought I didn't see it. Why did she cry? Is there something I did wrong? Cac. I need to love her more from now on. 4. That flirtatious fox Lu Xian. Homewrecker. Taking advantage of me being 5 minutes late from work, he stopped my Yi at the entrance of the neighborhood. Homewrecker. Little three. I will bite you to death one day. 5. Yay. Lu Xian is gone. 6. E said I need to learn to say no to others. Of course I know how to say no to others, but she isn't just anyone else. She's my baby, and she doesn't even know how adorable she is when she makes requests, with her eyes sparkling and her soft, small hands resting on me. I can't think about it anymore, or I'll want to devour her again. 7. I'm pregnant. I've already formed a bond with Yi ahead of time, officially certified and ready to go. Lu Xian is completely out of the picture. 8. It's a daughter. She looks just like Yi. Yi told me not to cry anymore, as it's not good for my eyes, but I just can't help it. 9. I am so happy. Wishing you happiness as well. The end. I was always timid as a child, and I would agree with anyone who spoke to me. Even if someone told me the earth was square, I would say it's entirely possible. It wasn't until later that I discovered I had a personality disorder. When I was brought back to the wealthy family, the fake heiress tearfully offered to give me her room. I've taken on my sister's identity, so this room should belong to her. I'll just stay in the guest room. I nodded in agreement. Indeed, as a guest, you are not part of our family and should stay in the guest room. The fake heiress turned pale and looked on the verge of collapse. Brother pointed at my nose and scolded furiously. I only recognize Yaya as my sister. I nodded. Indeed, after all, a family with multiple children is not as good as a family with only one child. I always tell people I'm an only child when I go out. Brother became so enraged that he fainted from anger. I was stunned for a long time. Was it wrong to go along with what they said in this house? My brother clutched his chest and passed out from anger. Gu Mingyue cried out for her brother. The loud noise attracted my adoptive parents, Gu Dad and Gu Mom, who had brought me home. They hurried over, asking us, what happened? Why did Chaoyang faint? Gu Mingyue wiped her tears, shrinking her neck and choking out, it's because, sister, she hesitated, as if Gu Chaoyang had been knocked unconscious by me. Gu's parents cast unkind glances in my direction, and I nodded. Indeed, because my brother told me he only had Yaya as a sister. I said I would go out and claim to be an only child, and then he fainted. In my adoptive parents' home, I was indeed an only child. That's correct. Gu Mingyue continued to shed tears without speaking, only trembling as she clung to her brother under her mother's comfort. She quickly glanced at me, looking utterly defeated and wronged. It was sister. Sister blamed me for taking her family away and wanted to hurt me. Brother shielded me, and that's how it turned out, isn't this just outright twisting black into white? Guma looked at the pitiful sight of the two of them and pointed at me, heartbroken. You just came back and you're already bullying your brother and sister. How could I have a daughter like you? I nodded and continued along with her words. Indeed, after all, I'm newly found, and it's possible that I could bully Gu Mingyue and Gu Chaoyang, but there are surveillance cameras at home, so we can just check them. I may not necessarily be your daughter. After all, paternity tests can also be wrong. For safety's sake, Gu Mingyue, Gu Chaoyang, I can all do another paternity test with you. What if none of us three are actually related? After all, who knows if mom and dad have been sneaking around, right? These two sentences effectively silenced Gu's mother, leaving her so angry she couldn't speak, and she quickly tried to calm herself down. Even the usually stern and old-fashioned father Gu was somewhat triggered. What nonsense are you talking? However, Gu Mingyue caught the key point. Wasn't the surveillance here broken? I'm a bit confused. It was indeed broken, but I fixed it yesterday. I've been timid since childhood, never causing trouble, always going along with whatever others say. But for some reason, there are always people who want to beat me up. To prevent being bullied, I installed many surveillance cameras at home. When others want to hit me, I just pull up the surveillance footage, and they immediately drop their fists. So the first thing I did when I returned home was to have someone check the surveillance at the Gu residence, and I installed cameras throughout the entire house, 360-degree coverage with no blind spots. Mr. and Mrs. Gu were a bit puzzled when they saw me having people install the cameras, but after learning that I had been beaten as a child, which left me with psychological trauma, they felt sorry for me and allowed me to install them. At that time, Gu Mingyue was out shopping, so she had no idea at all. I casually pulled up the surveillance footage, turned the volume up to the maximum, and played it in front of Gu's parents. Gu Mingyue's hypocritical remarks in the room and Gu Chaoyang's mocking of me as a country bumpkin slapped their parents in the face. I dragged and zoomed in on the surveillance footage, highlighting Gu Mingyue's sarcasm and Gu Chaoyang's dismissiveness. Gu's parents felt a bit awkward, and Mrs. Gu cleared her throat. This matter was handled poorly by Chaoyang and Mingyue. I will educate them, but you, child, why didn't you explain yourself to us when you knew you were wronged? I was speechless and dragged the surveillance video progress bar forward. My voice of explanation rang out, and Gu became even more embarrassed, her entire face turning slightly red. Seeing that they hadn't spoken for a long time, I knew this meant they intended to let the matter pass lightly. Waving the paternity test appointment interface on my phone, I expressed my confusion. I've already scheduled the paternity test. Do you want to go through with it? Mom forced a faint smile. That won't be necessary. I tilted my head, somewhat puzzled. You should still do it, just in case my brother was also switched at birth. After all, we're twins, and it's not impossible for two children to be swapped at once. And mom and dad, look, I resemble my sister more, but I don't look like my brother. It's so strange. Gu Chaoyang and I are twins, so as siblings, we should naturally look alike. But after I returned home, I realized that Gu Chaoyang doesn't look like me at all. On the contrary, Gu Mingyue and I are extremely similar. This is quite intriguing. Hearing my words, Gu's mother unconsciously nodded. Gu's father harshly interrupted me, somewhat flustered and exasperated. Enough. Have you made enough of a scene? I'll have Chaoyang and Mingyue apologize to you. All right, they were wrong, but you don't need to be so aggressive. Look at the state you're in now. What kind of appearance is that? Mingyue, apologize to your sister. Gu Mingyue was scolded by her father, which was a first for her, and her eyes instantly welled up with tears. She glared at me with reddened eyes, full of resentment. I'm sorry, are you satisfied now? After saying that, she ran off crying, and while running, she didn't watch her way and accidentally stepped on Gu Chaoyang. I clearly saw Gu Chaoyang's face contort for a moment before returning to calm, not uttering a word. He was pretending to faint. Seeing Gu Mingyue ran off crying. Gu's mother quickly chased after her to comfort her. Gu's father called for someone to carry Gu Chaoyang back to the room, then walked away without even glancing at me. The matter of the paternity test was left unresolved. Humming a tune, I headed toward Gu Mingyue's room. Her door was ajar, and the sound of Gu's mother comforting her drifted out. Yeah, don't cry, even if you're not. In my heart, you will always be my daughter. Gu Mingyue's voice was hoarse. What about my sister? Gu's mother was taken aback for a moment, but still answered honestly, she is also my daughter. You two should get along harmoniously, understand? You see, you wronged your sister in front of us today, and she didn't even hold it against you, right? Mom thinks she's not as bad-tempered or as much of a bully as Chaoyang said. It was clear that Gu Mingyue didn't want to hear that. She cried even louder. I knocked on the door of the room and asked, "May I come in?" Gu Mingyue's sobbing paused like a little robot, and she didn't say a word. I didn't care whether they would let me in or not, and pushed the door open to enter. Gu Mingyue, with eyes red as walnuts, glared at me. What are you doing here? Come and rest. Didn't you give the room to me? Now this is my room. Gu Mingyue grew even angrier. She hadn't expected that her sarcastic remark would be taken seriously by me. Mother Gu quickly stepped in to smooth things over. Oh, Xiaoyu, Ye was just joking. She's been living in this room for a long time, and it wouldn't be appropriate to move her now. She looked at me cautiously and said, perhaps you should take a look at the other rooms. I examined Gu Mingyue's room. The large dressing table was not filled with skincare products but rather piled with grains. On the bed lay a group of small cotton dolls. It's clearly been thoughtfully arranged. I raised an eyebrow, patted Aunt Gu on the shoulder, and said to her, indeed, my sister is used to her room, so it wouldn't be appropriate for her to move out. In that case, I'll take my brother's room. Aunt Gu froze on the spot, stammering as she spoke to me. The room facing east isn't suitable either. How about staying in the guest room? I nodded to Aunt Gu. Indeed, my brother's room isn't suitable either. As a boy, his things are messy, and it wouldn't be comfortable to stay there. But the bed in the guest room is too hard. I can't sleep on it. How about I squeeze in with my sister? I can move out tomorrow. After we changed the mattress, Gu Mingyue heard that I was actually going to sleep with her and immediately exclaimed, no, but Aunt Gu thought it was a great idea. Having the two sisters sleep in the same room could also help strengthen their bond, so she made the decision on the spot. Gu Mingyue's tearful protests were of no use. In a fit of anger, she grabbed her pillow and went to the guest room. I collected the hair I had just taken from Aunt Gu. Looking around Gu Mingyue's room, I casually placed another surveillance camera. Just in case. I rummaged through the dressing table and found her hair on her comb. If things are really as I suspect, then the Gu family is in for quite the show. Early the next morning, before I was even fully awake, the door was being pounded on with a deafening noise. Staring with a face full of morning grumpiness, I opened the door with a dark expression. Knock, knock, knock. What are you knocking for? Are you not going to survive today, making such a racket? Gu Chaoyang, who had come with Gu Mingyue to demand justice, was startled by my outburst. Immediately, he flew into a rage and raised his hand to slap me across the face. How can you be so shameless, actually taking over Ye's room? I directly grabbed his hand. After studying martial arts for so many years, it would be truly pathetic if I couldn't even handle Gu Chaoyang. I thought it was something serious. But it's about this again. Being forced to wake up early was already annoying, so I gave him a slap in passing. Stop yelling, it's so noisy. If you don't want to give up the room, don't say things like that. If you do give it up, just shut up quietly. I'm really annoyed right now. If you keep bothering me, I'll beat you so badly even your own mother won't recognize you. Get out of here. Gu Mingyue gasped in shock when she saw me hit Gu Chaoyang. Gu Xiaoyu, have you lost your mind? How dare you hit your brother? Gu Chaoyang has a heart condition and cannot handle any stress. He has been the family's treasure since childhood. Even Gu Mingyue, this sister, has to take care of this good brother. I raised an eyebrow, looking at Gu Chaoyang with a palm print on his face. Oh, are you my real brother? His expression immediately changed, mixed with a hint of panic, eventually settling into a rage, as he bared his teeth at me. How am I not your brother? No matter what you say, it won't change the fact that I'm your brother, I sneered, my tone dripping with mockery. Oh really, aren't you only recognizing Ye as your sister? What kind of brother do you think you are to me? Gu Chaoyang visibly relaxed. I didn't want to deal with them anymore, so I closed the door and left only one sentence. If you make another sound, I'll cut your tongue out. When I finally woke up after a struggle, I opened the door to an unexpectedly quiet house. I thought the older ones would come after the younger ones. But there was no movement at all. Asked the nanny at home. The family of 4 went shopping for gifts for the Goose siblings' birthday party in 2 days. The 4 of them were harmonious and happy, completely forgetting about me. The nanny looked at me with pity in her eyes. After all, who in this family is more pitiful than me, with everyone revolving around the fake sister, leaving me home alone? But that's fine, as I have my own things to do today as well. They're not home, which is perfect. I took the collected hair strands to the paternity testing agency. Handing my hair over to the institution, I quietly waited outside for the results. The messages on my phone kept chiming, and upon opening it, I saw a message from Gu Mingyue. Humph, Mom and Dad love me the most. This is a gift prepared for me, even without blood ties. I'm still the most pampered child in the family. Deep concern about Gu Mingyue's intelligence arose as I read the message. Sending a threatening text directly from a personal number seems like a sign of low intelligence. She quickly sent me a picture of a handbag. Of course, if you don't compete with me for Mom and Dad's affection, I'll buy this bag for you. I glanced at the bag, a $50,000 one. Gu Mingyue gets a $30,000 monthly allowance, so she'd have to save for 2 months to buy this bag. I didn't reply to her and instead forwarded the chat screenshot to Gu's parents. Gu's dad didn't say a word but transferred $1 million to my account. Gu's mom did speak up, continuing to explain. Xiaoyu, don't be mad, Ye is like this. She has a tough mouth but a soft heart. I didn't call you to go out today because Chaoyang said when he came to find you in the morning, you didn't sleep well, so I just wanted you to rest at home. I'm sorry, I bought you a gift. Next time, I will definitely ask for your opinion. Then, Auntie Gu also transferred me $1 million. A screenshot earned me $2 million. It was really worth it. I glanced at the freshly printed medical report in my hand, feeling that I should give my family an even bigger surprise, but as soon as I got home, I heard Gu Mingyue's sharp sobs. As soon as I stepped into the house, a handbag came flying towards me. I quickly dodged. Gu Mingyue yelled at me at the top of her lungs. Gu Xiaoyu, if you don't like me, you can just say so directly. What did you do to ruin my grain? That was a misprint, and there's only one copy, and I even bought you a bag as a gift. She cried herself hoarse, utterly heartbroken, far more genuine than when Gu Chaoyang had fainted. Gu Chaoyang fanned the flames beside her. Mom, Dad, I told you, she's just a bad seed, corrupted, just because we didn't take her out to buy a gift. She's so jealous she wants to destroy her sister's most cherished toy. She shouldn't have come back. Gu Ma's face was also filled with disappointment. Xiaoyu, Mom told you, if there's anything you want, you can tell Mom. Why did you have to destroy the thing your sister loves the most? Gu's father went even further and handed over a card. Directly, Gu Xiaoyu, you've caused chaos in the house the moment you returned. For the sake of family harmony, you should move out. This is kicking me out of the corner of my eye. I saw Gu Chaoyang's mouth struggling to suppress a smile. Laugh. Just wait until I see if you can still laugh after this. I took a deep breath and shouted, silence, listen to me. Gu Mingyue stopped crying at once, letting out a hiccup. The entire house fell silent. I took a deep breath and continued, indeed. I might have damaged Gu Mingyue's belongings, but I didn't damage her things. Gu Chaoyang couldn't hold back any longer. He let out a cold laugh. You say it's not, so it's not. In our family, who has the motive to break Mingyue's things? I smiled sweetly at him. Of course, it's my dear brother. You, I spoke incorrectly. You don't seem to be my brother. Gu Yang's expression changed instantly. What do you mean? I handed out photocopies of the paternity test report one by one to my family members. Come on, everyone, take a look. I just got this tested today. It's still fresh. When Gu Yang saw the test report, his face turned pale, and he fainted, closing his eyes. I quickly rushed over to catch him, my fingers digging firmly into the flesh at his waist, forcing him to stop pretending. He had no choice but to open his eyes and stand up again. Gu's mother was still in shock and didn't notice our little maneuver. Gu Mingyue stood there with her mouth agape, too stunned to even shed a tear, her voice cracking in disbelief. I wasn't switched at birth. I'm my parents' biological child. Dad tightly gripped the identification report. This doesn't prove anything. Paternity test results can be falsified. The paternity test report I distributed shows that both I and Gu Mingyue are my mother's daughters. It was clear that the mix-up wasn't between me and Gu Mingyue, but between me and Gu Chaoyang. It wasn't a case of true and false heiresses, but of a true heiress and a false. Young master, I smiled and nodded to Father Gu. Indeed, paternity test reports can be falsified. If you don't believe it, we can all go and get retested as a family. No, Gu Ba and Gu Chaoyang spoke simultaneously, seeing their overly intense reactions. Gu Ma was even more confused. Gu Ba, being older and more experienced, quickly caught on and forced a smile at me. Xiaoyu, Dad doesn't mean you're fabricating things. Dad believes this paternity test is real, and it's Chaoyang who was switched at birth. It was a misunderstanding on our part, but that doesn't mean Mingyue's things were damaged by Chaoyang. Do you understand what I'm saying? I nodded. Indeed, I understand what you're saying, but I have evidence. Gu Ba's smile froze on his face. I asked the nanny to bring me a projector and displayed the surveillance footage I had installed in Gu Mingyue's room. Please watch the VCR. In the video, Gu Chaoyang sneaked into Gu Mingyue's room and damaged her most cherished misprinted merchandise. After confirming that the item in his hand was broken, he sneaked out, completely unaware of the new surveillance camera I had installed. The timing was just after they returned and before I did. Gu Chaoyang was truly about to be driven mad with anger this time. He clutched his chest, unable to believe his eyes as he stared at me. You actually installed surveillance in Gu Mingyue's room. I rolled my eyes, utterly speechless. Didn't I say it already? To prevent being beaten, I'll install surveillance in the place where I'm staying. Gu Mingyue glared fiercely at Gu Chaoyang with her swollen eyes. Brother, why did you do this? Seeing that things were going awry, Father Gu quickly tried to smooth things over. Yeah, Chaoyang must have a reason for doing this. He has always loved you so much since you were young. Just now, Dad, Gu didn't have this attitude towards me. I asked him with some confusion. Dad, you just told me to move out, but now you're saying brother has a reason, showing such obvious favoritism. Is that right? I wouldn't be surprised if Gu Chaoyang was your real son and I was the one who was switched at birth. Hearing the words, real son, Father Gu shot me a fierce glare but still explained, Chaoyang and Yeye have been siblings for so many years. He probably didn't mean it on purpose. I nodded, as if accepting this explanation. It was evident that Gu Mingyue couldn't accept it, and she confronted Gu Chaoyang. Then why did you say it was your sister who broke it? Gu Chaoyang stammered for a long time, only able to give a dry explanation. Because she took your room, and I wanted to help you get her out. This statement, even the naive Gu Mingyue couldn't believe. Clearly, it was his own mistake, yet he tried to shift the blame onto others. Clearly, it was for his own sake, yet he still sought excuses and tried to pass the buck. Gu Mingyue looked at Gu Chaoyang with disappointment, saying nothing. Once again, it was Gu's father who stepped in to smooth things over. Don't be mad, Yeye. When your birthday comes, Dad will buy you the necklace you've always wanted, as an apology gift from your brother. Okay. Gu Mingyue glanced at me and asked Dad, what about sister? Since brother wronged sister, what should we do about it? Before Dad could speak, Mom chimed in first, then transfer the 5% of Chaoyang's shares meant for Chaoyang to Xiaoyu as an apology. Gu Mingyue also nodded along. I'll give my share to my sister as compensation for wronging her. Gu's father was extremely shocked and abruptly looked up at Gu's mother. Yunji, didn't we previously agree to give Chaoyang 5% of the shares to let him join the company and help me? Now, Gu's mother interrupted Gu's father, but Chaoyang damaged things and tried to frame his sister. That's not something a responsible older brother should do. I think the matter of joining the company can be reconsidered. Gu Chaoyang's eyes turned red with hatred, and it seemed like Gu's father also had something to say, but under Gu's mother's insistence, he reluctantly kept his mouth shut. I lowered my eyes, thinking that this mother of mine wasn't as naive as I had imagined. The day before the birthday banquet, there was a knock on my door. Opening the door, it was my sweet but naive mother. Gu, she looked at me calmly. Xiaoyu, can I come in? I nodded, of course. After closing the door, she took a deep breath and asked me, Xiaoyu, besides the paternity test report you showed us last time, do you have anything else? I shook my head and said to Gu Ma, no, Gu Ba and Gu Chaoyang are extremely cautious. Not a single hair could be found in their room. The hair used for the last paternity test with Gu's mother was casually pulled out when I hit him, but in such a large household, the more cautious one is, the more it reveals the issue. Gu's mother sighed and handed me a document, which contained the paternity test report for our entire family. The paternity test results showed that both I and Gu Mingyue are the daughters of Gu's father and mother. Gu Chaoyang and Gu's mother are not biologically related, but he is the son of Gu's father. The truth is about to be revealed. Gu's mother handed me another document, which was a stock transfer agreement. In the agreement, Gu's mother transferred all her shares to me. As long as I sign, these shares will all be mine. I raised an eyebrow. Are you that confident in me? Aren't you afraid I'm here to scam you too? Gu's mother looked at me calmly. I've conducted a comprehensive investigation on you, and you are indeed my daughter. Under her narration, I gradually understood why she wanted to transfer the shares to me. Gu Ma's original name was Gu Yunji, and she was the heir of the Gu family. Being a daughter born late in her parents' life, she was pampered and couldn't endure the hardships of working. Gu Leoi pondered for a long time, trying to find a capable man to take care of her, and Gu's father was the son-in-law chosen by Gu Leoi for her. His original name was Wang Jiangwo, but to show his loyalty to Gu's mother, he specially changed his surname to Gu. But how could a son-in-law be truly willing? Moreover, Gu Leoi was wary of him, only allowing him to manage the company on behalf of the family, with no shares allocated to him at all. Although Gu's mother was a bit naive and sweet when she was young, being from a wealthy family, there weren't many who were overly romantic-minded. Although she loved Gu's father, she also knew that money was most reliable in her own hands. Gu's father didn't hold any shares, but when it came to money, Gu's mother didn't shortchange him at all. He quickly supported his childhood sweetheart, and from then on, he had two homes. Gu's mother and father both kept women outside the home, and their pregnancies occurred around the same time. The ultrasound showed that the woman was carrying a boy, and he immediately had a devious idea. He directly arranged for the woman outside to stay in the room next to Gu's mother's ward. He bribed the doctor, planning to switch one of the daughters with his son after both women gave birth. As soon as Gu's mother woke up, Gu's father brought two children to her bedside, and I, the unlucky one chosen to be replaced, was casually discarded by the woman outside and sent to an orphanage. After Gu Chaoyang was born, his heart was not in good condition, and Gu's mother thought it was because the twin sister absorbed the nutrients meant for the brother, so she always treated him well, and coupled with Gu Jiangwo often telling her in front of her that boys should be raised in poverty while girls should be raised in wealth. Thus, Gu Mingyue was raised to be innocent and naive, while Gu Chaoyang was groomed to be the heir from a young age. Once Gu Chaoyang inherits the company, takes over the shares, and changes the surname, the Gu family's company will become the property of the Wang father and son. Their plans were well laid, but they didn't account for the fact that I could still be found. Finding me was purely an accident. I looked so much like my grandmother that she couldn't help but suspect I might have been switched at birth. After a paternity test confirmed that I was their child, under Gu Jiangwo's suggestion, she subconsciously assumed that the child who was switched was a girl, until the previous few times when I had them take a paternity test together. Gu Jiangwo and Gu Chaoyang refused, which immediately raised Gu's mother's suspicions. She secretly investigated everything. Gu Mingyue had lived with Gu Jiangwo and Gu Chaoyang for too long and was too easily deceived. The shares couldn't be passed on to her. Gu's mother investigated me and felt that I had been well raised by my foster parents. She planned to announce me as the heir on the day of the birthday banquet, to prevent any accidents. After I signed the agreement, we went to notarize it together. Something offered on a silver platter. Why not take it? I signed without hesitation. On the day of the birthday banquet, my mother sent over a beautiful dress, while Gu Mingyue gave me a set of exquisite jewelry. She seemed a bit awkward as she apologized to me. I'm sorry, sister, this is a gift for you. I patted her head. Sister forgives you. The silly child was just used as a pawn. I followed them into the banquet hall. Gu Mingyue took my hand and introduced me to her girlfriends. Gu Chaoyang went to join his brothers. Before long, a man blocked my path. I looked up and saw a man dressed in luxurious attire, with an extremely ordinary appearance. He glared at me and warned, "So you're the real heiress, don't even think about taking anything away from Yaya." He glanced me up and down, sneering, "You country bumpkin, no chest, no hips, not even half as sweet and charming as Ye. Oh, I get it, a suitor of Gu Mingyue, seeing that he was about to continue his self-righteousness. I quickly interrupted him. Indeed, I may not be as sweet as Mingyue, but the two of us are not something you, a toad, can even dream of. If you don't have a mirror, you must have urine, so take a look at yourself before coming to me to rant. Puxin man, you're really full of yourself, with that face of yours. Who could possibly find you attractive? With just a few words, I managed to make the man in front of me flush with anger. He reached out as if to hit me, before he could swing his hand. He was knocked aside by Gu Mingyue like a small cannonball. Yi, what do you want to do to my sister? Seeing Gu Mingyue arrive, Gu Chaoyang quickly walked over. Yeah, how are you talking to brother Yi? Apologize quickly. Gu Mingyue gave Gu Chaoyang a cold look and spoke to him sarcastically for the first time. Why did I talk to him, brother? Didn't you see that he wanted to hit sister just now? Gu Xiaoyang pretended to be helpless as he spoke to Gu Mingyue. Yi Guo is also doing it for your own good, worrying about you. When Yi Yu heard his good friend speaking up for him, his anger flared up instantly. Exactly, you're not of the Gu family bloodline, and I was worried she might bully you, so I came to warn her, but now it's my fault. Gu Mingyue, you have no heart. Hearing this string of words, Gu Mingyue was a bit confused. Wait, who told you I'm not of the Gu family bloodline? Gu Chaoyang averted his eyes guiltily. I interrupted the two who were in a standoff. Wait, I have something to show you. I went upstairs and brought down the paternity test report, handing it to Yi Yu. Here, open your dog eyes and take a good look. Both Mingyue and I are Gu family members. As for Gu Chaoyang, before I could finish, Gu Chaoyang tore the appraisal report in my hand to shreds. With just that one move, it was clear who was real and who was fake. Yi Yu didn't even glance at Gu Chaoyang, who was trying to explain, and walked away directly beside me. Gu Mingyue's eyes sparkled with admiration as she looked at me. Sister, you're so amazing. Is that amazing? Gu Mingyue pouted and complained to me. Actually, I really hate that Yi Yu, his gaze is so disgusting. My brother even said before that I'm not part of the Gu family, and mom and dad won't love me anymore, so I might as well try to get on Yi Yu's good side, but he's super gross. Last time, he even touched a waitress's butt. I tapped Yi Mingyue on the head. Silly child, your brother is using you to curry favor. Men, having been raised as heirs since childhood, naturally look down on daughters who are to be married off for alliances. It's not uncommon in this circle to see people using their own sisters as convenient tools for favors. However, after today, they should know who the true heir of the Gu family is. Gu Chaoyang went to appease Yi Yu and didn't have time to cause trouble. I followed Gu Mingyue, ready to follow her on stage. The lights flickered, and Gu's mother stood on the stage to announce, "Today, I have invited everyone here to celebrate my daughter's birthdays." The word daughters was cleverly chosen, and everyone present could immediately understand that this excluded Gu Xiaoyang. When considering the rumors circulating outside about the Gu family's true and false daughters, it became clear at once who the false one was. Gu Ba noticed that Gu Ma's words were completely inconsistent with the speech draft. He tugged at Gu Ma, ignoring him. Gu Ma continued to announce that she would be giving her shares to me and that I would be the heir to the Gu Corporation. Down below, the crowd began to murmur. Countless gazes fell upon me, two of which were the most venomous. I didn't need to guess to know they were Gu Ba and Gu Xiaoyang. They could endure it, not directly losing their temper at the birthday banquet. After seeing off the guests, Gu Ba, still wearing a fake smile, immediately changed his expression. He had been coaxing Gu's mother for so many years, strict outside but never harsh with her at home. He clenched his teeth and glared, demanding, "Gu Yunji, what exactly are you trying to do? Didn't we agree that Zhao Yang would be the heir?" Gu Xiaoyang also looked like he was struggling to breathe, tears streaming down his face as he cried, "Mom, why are you treating me like this? Is it just because I'm not your biological son?" Gu Dad quickly tried to calm Gu Xiaoyang down. "Yunji, we've raised Xiaoyang for so long. He's more like a real son than a biological one. How could you treat him like this? It's so hurtful to the child." Gu Ma looked at them calmly. "How long do you intend to keep up this act?" Gu Ba and Gu Xiaoyang were stunned. "What are you saying?" Gu Ma, trembling in voice, looked at their pretentious expressions. "I said, how long do you plan to deceive me? Gu Xiaoyang isn't my son, you've known that for a long time. you were the one who switched him yourself. Gu's father still tried to play dumb. Yoonji, who told you that? Xiaoyang was just switched by mistake. He glared at me fiercely. Was it Gu Xiaoyu who said it? She spent so long in the orphanage. Lying is as easy for her as drinking water. Gu's mother interrupted him. Enough. A stack of documents was thrown in front of Gu's father. Trembling, he opened them to find various photos of him and his childhood sweetheart, along with a paternity test report for Gu Chaoyang. There was also a divorce agreement inside. Wang Jiangwo, let's get a divorce and part ways amicably. Seeing these concrete proofs, Dad Gu completely lost his composure and tore the divorce agreement to shreds. Yoonji, you've been deceived. All of this is fake. I will not agree to a divorce. Don't say these things anymore. I was somewhat speechless, watching him try to linger here and deceive Mother Gu. Mother Gu didn't want to drag it out any longer and directly called for the bodyguards, throwing Father Gu and Gu Chaoyang out. If you don't want a divorce, we'll see you in court. Dad and Gu Chaoyang were kicked out, while Gu Mingyue stood nearby, not daring to speak. Only after Mom went back to her room did she carefully tug at my skirt. Sis, what exactly happened? After I finished telling the story, Gu Mingyue was utterly stunned. She looked at me and murmured to herself, no wonder my brother kept urging me to target you, so that's how it is. She fearfully grabbed my hand. Thank goodness you're back, sis, otherwise, we have no idea how bad things could have gotten. I nodded in agreement. Considering the nature of Gu Jiangwo and his son, if they had gotten hold of the company, who knows how they would have treated Gu's mother and Gu Mingyue. After my birthday, I went to join the Gu family's company as arranged, starting from the bottom. As for Dad Gu, after the birthday, Mom Gu replaced him and hired a professional manager to temporarily take his position. On the way to the company, I was kidnapped. Gu Jiangwo and Gu Chaoyang bribed the driver who was taking me and brought me to a remote factory. I was awakened by a basin of water being splashed on me. Seeing me open my eyes, Gu Chaoyang slapped me across the face, then fiercely grabbed my chin, his eyes wild. Gu Xiaoyu, why did you come back? You've ruined all our plans. Gu Jiangwo was even more ruthless, throwing a knife to Gu Chaoyang. Why waste words with her? Just kill her. Once she's dead, you'll be the only heir. Hello, are they treating Gu Mingyue as if she doesn't exist? I was filled with shock and confusion. No, why would you think that if I die, the heir would be Gu Chaoyang? Gu Chaoyang pinched my face, his voice icy cold. I've already called Mom and Mingyue over. After I kill you, they will die too. This way, my dad and I can inherit all of the Gu family's assets. We didn't originally plan it this way. If you want to blame someone, blame yourselves for being too ruthless. He raised the knife, aiming to stab me in the heart. I shouted, wait. With a loud bang, Gu Chaoyang fell to the ground. Unwilling to accept his fate, I looked at the hole in his head and sighed. I told you to wait. See, now he's dead. The police quickly surrounded Gu Jiangwo and untied me. Gu Jiangwo's eyes were wide with fury. How could it be? How could it be? How did the police get here so quickly? I shook the electronic watch on my wrist. I already told you, I was often beaten as a child, so I specifically set it up to automatically call the police as soon as I faint. I never expected that the Gu family father and son would commit the crime without disposing of my device. The police followed the location directly and arrived. Gu Jiangwo was sentenced to life imprisonment for attempted murder. Mrs. Gu wasn't idle either. She first sought out Gu Jiangwo's childhood sweetheart to sue for the return of their joint marital savings. Then I filed for divorce. Gu Jiangwo was found to have committed a major fault, so the divorce was granted on the first hearing. When we left the courthouse, Gu's mother hugged me and Gu Mingyue. This time, I finally saved you both. Gu Mingyue and I were completely bewildered, so we could only pat her back to comfort her. Gu's mother wiped away her tears and took our hands. Let's go. I've arranged to meet Xiao Yu's other parents for a meal. Gu Mingyue and I exchanged a glance and obediently replied, all right, for the rest of our lives, let's live well together. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see, I am the real daughter in the story of the true and false heiress. The year my biological parents found me, I had the person who loved me most, a good job, and had saved enough money to buy a house in the expensive city of Beijing. So, In the second month after being taken home and bullied, I left without hesitation. I have never been anyone's true heiress. I am simply myself. I am the true heiress in a story of mistaken identities. On the day I was taken back, a heavy snow fell in the capital city. Without an umbrella, I ran home carrying groceries. I stomped my feet at the doorstep to shake off the snow from my shoes, then happily pushed open the door after changing into my puppy-patterned cotton slippers. "I'm back, we're having hot pot tonight," I cheerfully called out, only to see the bodyguards in the room and the middle-aged man and woman sitting on the sofa the next second. The two were dressed very richly, sitting in our small rented apartment, making the already cramped space look even more shabby. I was confused and instinctively looked toward Li Yueni, who was walking over. Li Yueni took the vegetables from my hand and explained to me, "These two say they are your biological parents. They came specifically to find you today." I was confused for a while before finally replying politely, "Oh, I was taken back home because my biological parents had come looking for me." This was the first time in my 28 years that I met my biological parents, and also the first time I was about to ride in a Rolls-Royce. Before I left, I repeatedly reminded Li Yueni, "Remember to eat the fish I bought, or it'll go bad by tomorrow." Li Yueni nodded silently, urging me to hurry back with the others. This time, it was my turn to nod silently. We didn't speak. I changed my clothes, put on my shoes, and wore a hat. He handed me my bag, stuffing it with money, a phone, a power bank, a charger, and a few small snacks. We walked to the door, and he couldn't help but add, "Come back soon." I looked up and couldn't hold back a laugh. "Got it." Li Yueni saw me off to the car. Sitting inside, I waved at him, "Don't worry, I won't run off with a rich person." He was taken aback, then smiled. My parents sitting beside me choked, looking at each other in silence. After a while, I started to feel drowsy. The car's heating was too strong, and with the busy work, I couldn't resist and dozed off against the window. Vaguely, I heard my mother ask the driver for a blanket. The blanket was placed over me, and I slightly opened my eyes to murmur, "Thank you." The hand that was helping to cover me with a blanket paused, then tucked the blanket in more snugly around me. The blanket was both light and soft, and I fell into a deeper sleep wrapped in it. The car drove very steadily, passing through the snowy night and entering a bustling villa area. As soon as we entered the villa area, I sat up. There was no other reason. It was just too beautiful here. The garden, the pond, and the artificial hills together formed a scene of flowing water amidst high mountains, with roses covered in snow. "It's so beautiful." I couldn't help but ask, "Can we take photos here?" My parents beside me nodded. I raised my phone and snapped a series of photos, then selected a few nice ones to send to Li Yueni, along with a message, "Look, look, it's so pretty, just like a tourist spot. Let's come here together next time." The message was sent, and within 10 seconds, my phone vibrated. I opened WeChat to see Li Yueni's reply, "Okay." I calmed my mind, put away my phone, and continued to gaze out the window under the blanket. The car passed through 2 gates, entered the courtyard, and finally stopped in front of a massive villa. But we were stopped before we could even enter. It was a very beautiful girl, truly beautiful, from her attire to her appearance. Even in winter, she wore beautiful short skirts. She ran over and pushed me. "Why did you bring her back? I'm your daughter. You've raised me for over 20 years, and now that you say I'm not your biological child, you want to bring in a new daughter. Why?" I was pushed back 2 steps and realized this was the so-called fake heiress, Ji Jiayan. "Don't be rude to your sister." My father spoke up behind me. When Ji Jiayan was scolded, she immediately bristled. "Where did I get a sister? If she comes back, I'll run away from home. What's all this talk about a true and false? I'm the only daughter of the Ji family." Ji Jiayan started arguing with her father. I, however, looked at her and fell into deep thought. After a long time, I couldn't help but ask, "We've met before, haven't we? In September 2014, you came to our county to donate things." Ji Jiayan clearly didn't remember this incident. In 2014, I was 16, and Ji Jiayan was also 16. Forced by her family, she came to our impoverished county as a donor, sitting disdainfully at the opening ceremony of our high school. Her father's company donated to our school, and she, as the company's charity ambassador, sat on the high platform. Later, several of us students were called up to the stage, and each of us was given 10,000 yuan. I was completely stunned at the time. It wasn't a signboard that said 10,000 yuan, it was real 10,000 yuan in cash, sealed in an envelope, heavy in my hands. I still remember how nervous I was, my hands sweating as I held that 10,000 yuan, afraid that I might drop it and someone would snatch it away. But I also remember meeting Ji Jiayan's gaze and the look of disdain in her eyes. For a little money, you all, like beggars begging for the kindness of the rich. What she scorned became the most precious tuition for my youth. Back then, I didn't dislike Ji Jiayan. If the wealthy could often show pity, it would be the beginning of good fortune for some. Like me, with that money, I redeemed Li Yuanyi who had been taken away, and later I was able to finish high school smoothly. Later, I was admitted to Peking University with the 7th place in the city. Ji Jiayan didn't expect me to suddenly bring up such a topic, and she suddenly remembered that poor county she had seen that year. She instinctively frowned in disgust, thinking of the life I had lived, and silently walked into the house. Parents had long grown accustomed to it, only indulgingly sighing. After all, before I returned, Ji Jiayan was the only daughter of the Ji family. She had been extremely pampered since childhood, was beautiful, and at 16, her parents pushed her into the entertainment industry. Later, she also became the brand image ambassador for the G Group. Her image of a beloved daughter and her personal image of a philanthropist became her best tools for promoting the company. She could generate revenue for the company worth over 1 billion yuan annually. This is also the source of Ji Jiayan's confidence. Even if I were the biological child, my status at home couldn't compare to Ji Jiayan's, but I didn't mind. After all, I had never expected to find my biological parents one day. That evening we had dinner together, and after dinner, I went back to my room, which was right next to Ji Jiayan's. Ji Jiayan seemed a bit disgusted and muttered, "Isn't there any other room? Why do you have to stay right next to me and annoy me?" I pinched the corner of my brow with some, then entered the room. Sometimes I really don't understand Ji Jiayan. After all, we're both 28 years old. In other words, neither of us is a child. I don't understand why she's targeting me. Only children like to show their strength by bullying others, but I really don't want to deal with it. Better to go to bed early. I have to go to work tomorrow. I had to go to work the next day. As I didn't know how far the G family residence was from my workplace, I got up at 6 in the morning, packed my things, and prepared to go to work. My father and mother were still asleep, but the maid saw me up and quickly prepared breakfast for me. After eating, I saw my mother coming downstairs. She looked at me, somewhat surprised. "Why are you up so early?" I explained. "I need to rush to work, afraid I'll be late." "Oh, right. I forgot about that." "Xiao Yuan, where do you work? How's the pay? If you don't like it, you can quit and come to." I hesitated for a moment, then smiled and answered truthfully, "I work in the office in the West District." My mother was a bit surprised. I didn't have many friends around me, and even fewer people who could reveal my information, so before they came to pick me up, they hadn't found out about my job at all. As for my records, they couldn't find them either. They searched for a long time and only managed to locate my address before rushing over, leaving no time to dig deeper into my life. They checked various companies and found no trace of my name, so they instinctively assumed I worked at some street-side convenience store. They recognized me purely out of an instinctive acknowledgement of blood ties, without any other thoughts. They believed that even if I was incapable of anything, keeping me at home wouldn't cost much. And now, hearing about my workplace, they seemed at a loss. In fact, if they had found me in time and investigated further, they might have discovered that I was admitted to Peking University at the age of 17. During university, I passed the central selection for reserve cadres, went to the countryside 4 years ago, was just transferred back last year, and became a full section chief at the beginning of this year. My mother ate in silence, then specifically instructed the driver to choose a low-profile car to take me to work. The driver rummaged through the garage for a long time before finally finding a Volkswagen covered in dust for years. I didn't refuse. As the Lunar New Year approached, various reports and meetings also increased. During the day, there's no time to go home, and recently, I've been picked up and dropped off by the G family's car, leaving no time to go home at night either. I can only video chat with Li Yuanyi using a computer before going to sleep. After just a couple of sentences on the phone, I hear the sound of things being thrown in the next room. calling in the middle of the night. Do you want people to sleep or not? It was Ji Jiayan's voice. Li Yuanyi, on the other end of the phone, also heard the sound and paused his hands, which were in the middle of modifying a program. Watching myself in the video. What's going on? It's Ji Jiayan. She doesn't like you. I laughed. That's normal, isn't it? Who could accept suddenly becoming a non-biological daughter, especially when she's so pampered? Li Yuanyi's fingertips paused slightly as he lowered his eyes and asked, when will you be back? Tomorrow. It's Saturday. Since it's Saturday and I don't have to work, I'll have breakfast and tell my parents I'm going back. They seem to have anticipated it. After all, I'm not 8 years old anymore and can't stay at their place forever. Only Ji Jiayan was a bit surprised. You're leaving, trying to play hard to get, aren't you? Hoping to make mom and dad worry, then have them invite you back. You're kind of petty, low-class tactics. I was getting a bit annoyed. Are you 3 years old or something? As soon as I finished speaking, Ji Jiayan exploded again. Shen Shiyuan, what are you saying? Are you calling me childish? I sighed, pinched the bridge of my nose. That's not what I meant. I don't just think she's childish. I actually think there's something wrong with her brain. Like she has the intelligence of a 3-year-old. When I left that day, my mother held my hand and said, Jia Yan has been spoiled by us. Don't take it to heart. I nodded and didn't say anything more. Jia Yan is indeed spoiled. Based on what I know, she's already 28, yet she still often acts on her own whims and refuses to take responsibility. When someone says anything negative about her, she refuses to participate in anything, forcing that person to resign before she feels satisfied. But her bad temper is undoubtedly the result of my biological parents' spoiling, unconditional indulgence and always getting her way whenever she throws a tantrum. No wonder she resists my arrival so much. My parents told me not to argue with her, but in reality, if I wanted to argue with her, I'd need the capital to do so. My biological parents never really spent time with me, so our bond is quite weak. Even if we quarrel, I'm the only one who gets scolded. After a week at the Ji household, Ji Jiayan kept finding faults with me, and my parents only ever said a few words at most. By the end of the week, I was utterly exhausted. The Ji family driver dropped me off at the apartment building. As soon as I got home, I threw myself into Li Yuanyi's arms. The Ji family is very large and wealthy, but it's not my home. As for my home, it should be with Li Yuanyi. After all, we've been living together for over 20 years. Li Yuanyi, held by me, bent down and lifted me up in a princess carry. He placed me on the sofa and kissed me. Feeling tired lately, I leaned drowsily against him and nodded. A little. Sometimes I really do long for parental love, but there's always a 28-year gap. They spent 28 years with Ji Jiayan, and I can't expect them to love me the same way they love her. By the end of my words, I hugged Li Yuanyi's waist and said, but it's okay, I still have you, don't I? Li Yuanyi held me and kissed my forehead again. I let go of my weariness and fell into a peaceful sleep. Over all these years, I could only sleep soundly when I was with Li Yuanyi, and counting. I've known Li Yuanyi for over 20 years. My parents have never asked about my past for such a long time. They might have love, but it's really not much. After all, they don't care at all about what I've been through. They can't abandon Ji Jiayan, and they can never love me without any reservations again. And during those 20+ years they were absent, I've experienced too much and already have a new family. Li Yuanyi, that year, after I was swapped at the hospital, I was abandoned. The first to pick me up were a young couple who had just gotten married, also my first set of parents. They raised me for 3 years, often forgetting to feed me formula or change my diapers, and frequently left me alone at home. It wasn't until I fell seriously ill at the age of 3, with a persistent high fever, that they began to feel afraid I would die in their home, yet unwilling to pay for my treatment. They abandoned me at the hospital entrance. Perhaps the memory of being discarded was too deeply etched, for I still remember that day, staring at the sky and wondering if I would die. I don't know how long I stayed on the trash can outside the hospital, but eventually, a child picked me up. That child was 8-year-old Li Yuanyi, a truly pitiful person. His mother left, and his father drank himself to death. He originally lived with his aunt, but later, his uncle grew tired of him, so he ran away. Then he found me, carried me to the hospital, and said I was sick. When others asked him to pay the fees, He had no money and just sat there dejectedly. Later, a few nurses couldn't bear to see me suffer and pooled their money to pay for my treatment. Once I recovered, it was only natural that I ended up living with Lee Yueni. Lee Yueni lived in the house left behind by his parents at that time. He was just a little taller than the stove, but having grown up on his own, he skillfully moved a stool to cook rice porridge for me. The rice porridge had chopped cabbage and a little bit of ham sausage added to it, and once it was cooked to a mush, it became my meal, being fed bite by bite. I grew up. By the age of 3 or 4, I was already following Lee Yueni around, picking up scrap. Cardboard went for 7 mao per jean, and plastic bottles for 5 mao per jean. The two of us could earn 20 or 30 yuan a day, enough to get by, and so it went until it was time for school. When I was 7 and hadn't started school yet, Lee Yueni dug out his first grade textbooks to teach me. At that time, Lee Yueni was only 12. He taught me for 3 years. Whenever he had free time, he taught me from first grade textbooks all the way to 6th grade. For the textbooks he didn't have, he would pick them up from the recycling station, and he would also bring me a new extracurricular book every week. He reads once. I read once, from Grimm's Fairy Tales to the Grave Robbers' Chronicles. I don't understand, but it doesn't matter. I don't go to school anyway. Besides studying, reading, and picking up scrap, there's nothing else for me to do. Later, when he turned 14, he found a job washing dishes and sent me to school. I did very well in my studies from the start, because Lee Yueni taught me so well. Lee Yueni was very smart. He could understand the textbooks from 1st to 6th grade just by reading them once, and then he would explain the key points in a simple and clear way. If I really didn't understand, he would let me figure it out on my own. If I managed to grasp it, that was fine. If not, I would copy it down, and after copying it enough times, I would naturally understand. This led to me passing the exams right after starting school and smoothly advancing to the 4th grade. In the early 2000s, school records weren't as strictly managed, so I skipped a grade and entered the 6th grade. I spent 2 years in middle school, ranking first every year. At the time, the rural junior high school I attended wanted to give it a try and sent me, a second-year junior high student, to take the high school entrance exam. I scored first in the entire county and was admitted to the county's top high school. Because I ranked first in the county, the school held an award ceremony for me. When people heard I had no parents, some donated a small amount of money to me that year. Many at the school praised me as a genius, but as I looked at Lee Yueni waiting at the gate, I thought, if I could be considered a genius, then wasn't Lee Yueni one too? After all, he had taught me from 1st to 6th grade, and even after I entered junior high, he still tutored me with my homework every day. But Lee Yueni couldn't go to school. He had to rush to the factory to work on the assembly line. The year I started high school, at 15, someone wanted to adopt me and even found Lee Yueni. I was completely shocked and hid behind Lee Yueni. He tried to pull me out, but I refused, clinging tightly to him and asking the visitors why they wanted to adopt me. They said I had no father or mother, and if they adopted me, I would have a home. I pointed to the house behind me. This is my home. I then pointed to Lee Yueni in front of me. This is my brother. The adoptive parents left, but I clung to Lee Yueni, refusing to let go. He couldn't be bothered to deal with me, letting me hang on him as he went into the kitchen to cook, completely ignoring me. Later, I finally let go and crouched in the corner of the kitchen like a wilted, moldy mushroom, asking him dejectedly, Lee Yueni, you won't abandon me, will you? He said irritably, what do I need you for? You can't be eaten or drunk, and you even take up space just squatting in the kitchen. Let me tell you, the family that's adopting you is rich. You'll have a good life from now on. I wilted even more. I'm not going, Lee Yueni, I'm not going. I wanted to cry, but I felt it wouldn't help. So I looked up at Lee Yueni and told him loudly, Lee Yueni, I'm not going anywhere. Lee Yueni, wait for me to grow up. I'll take care of you for the rest of my life. His hand chopping vegetables paused for a long moment before he continued, shooing me away impatiently. Go to the living room and do your homework. I sat in the narrow living room doing my homework, and whenever I looked up, I could see the 18-year-old Lee Yueni, slender and tall, wearing an apron and bustling around in the kitchen. I lowered my head and continued with my homework. Although I had refused many people who wanted to adopt me, Lee Yueni had spent a long time trying to send me away. To that end, He even went to great lengths to track down the first couple who had abandoned me. He then found the hospital where I was born through the words of the first couple who had adopted me. He found information about the child born that year. Coincidentally, there were only 2 girls born in the hospital that day. One was me, and the other was Ji Jiayan. Li Yuanyi took the information he had uncovered and drove me a long distance. For the first time, he brought me to the doorstep of my biological parents' home. We couldn't enter the grand villa. Standing outside the gate, I saw the pampered Ji Jiayan, dressed in the most beautiful clothes and adorned with the most expensive jewelry. Li Yuanyi said that I should have been the one standing there, but I tightly grasped his hand and said, Li Yuanyi, a wealthy family like theirs must have regular health checkups. Right, did they really not know? Do they truly want a daughter raised in the countryside? Li Yuanyi, I'm scared, let's go home. Li Yuanyi's fingertips tightened slightly, and in the end, he took me back. I breathed a sigh of relief, but my peace of mind didn't last long. Li Yuanyi got into trouble. He was helping someone collect a debt and ended up being tied up. It was around that time Ji Jiayan appeared. She was forced by her family to assist in a poverty-stricken county, and I received that 10,000 yuan. I was very grateful to her. Later, I saved Li Yuanyi. That day, I held the unconscious Li Yuanyi in my arms. That day, holding Li Yuanyi, I thought about a lot, but then the sky brightened, and Li Yuanyi woke up. That incident passed, and my first year of high school came to an end. The high school I attended had a key class, but even in a key class, there were still gossip and comics. In our second year of high school, romance novels became all the rage in class, with everyone discussing various male protagonists and the popular celebrities of the time. My deskmate asked me, Chen Shiyuan, what kind of guy do you like? I thought for a moment and answered seriously, I like someone who's good at studying, wealthy, good-looking, and preferably with a slim waist. My deskmate exclaimed, you know exactly who you like. I was shocked that she had guessed it, and I couldn't help but blush. I warned her, don't talk nonsense. My deskmate nodded seriously, my lips are sealed. In the end, the whole class knew I had a crush on the class monitor. Fan Yun confidently came over to confess to me. I was silent for a long time, and finally tried to explain. You're not the person I like. Fan Yun was puzzled. I'm second in the whole school. My family is wealthy with over a dozen properties, and I'm not good looking. I didn't know how to explain for a moment and could only numbly refuse. I'm sorry. Later, I thought about it. What I meant by liking someone who studies well is that they can tutor me. What I meant by liking someone with money is that they can take care of my meals. And what I meant by liking someone good-looking is that I like them. These conditions are not actually conditions. They are essentially just one person, but I need to study hard first. I said I would support Li Yuanyi for a lifetime. When I was little, I loved calling Li Yuanyi brother. And I still did even in my teens. Brother, where are my socks, bro? Where's my book, bro? Have you seen my pen, bro? I don't know how to solve this problem, bro. I'm hungry. But as adolescence arrived, I gradually stopped calling him brother, and instead started saying, Li Yuanyi, I'm hungry, make me something to eat. Li Yuanyi, I don't know how to do this. Help me with my homework. Li Yuanyi, I want this. Buy it for me. Li Yuanyi wanted to hit me several times, but seeing me buried in a pile of assignments, he thought I was having a tough time. In the end, all I could do was grit my teeth in frustration, angrily waving a feather duster as a warning. Chen Shiyuan, you'd better get into a good university in the college entrance exam. This situation continued until after the college entrance exam. By the time I finished the exam, I had gained a full circle of weight, while Li Yuanyi had lost a full circle. While waiting for the results, he was even more anxious than I was, to the point where he had to take anti-anxiety medication just to fall asleep. Later, I discovered those pills and took them to his company to confront him. Li Yuanyi, what on earth are you thinking? Are you so anxious that you need to take medication? At that time, Li Yuanyi had worked hard for several years and become a sales manager for a medical equipment company. He looked at me, opened his mouth only to close it again, and finally shook his head dejectedly. Chen Shiyuan, I'm afraid I won't be able to provide for you well, and your future won't be good either. Actually, when you were in elementary school, there were people who wanted to adopt you, but I refused. Your teacher came to me several times, and I turned them down every time. Chen Shiyuan, but sometimes I wonder, if you were in someone else's home, with a father and a mother, maybe you could live a better life. After all, I'm already unwanted myself. Why should I drag you down with me, Li Yuani? I have someone who wants me, and you have someone who wants you. If you send me away, neither of us will have anyone. I will do well in the exams, I told you. I want to take care of you for a lifetime, Li Yuani. I never lie. Li Yuani smiled, leaning tiredly on the sofa, pinching the bridge of his nose with a smile. Leaning back, he exposed his long neck, but I noticed a white hair by his ear. I suddenly leaned in, and he looked puzzled, only to hear me say, Li Yuani, you have a white hair. I knelt beside him with one leg, and he obediently turned his head, allowing my fingertips to slip into his hair. The moment the white hair was plucked out, he frowned slightly, which I caught from above. I turned my eyes and said, Li Yuani, don't move. There's one more. After saying that, he didn't move. I raised my hand to cover his eyes and gave him a loud kiss on the cheek. He didn't react in time. I darted away like a nimble monkey, letting out a series of sinister, hee laughs, because I kissed Li Yuani. He gave me the cold shoulder for a long time. After returning home and finishing cooking, he would retreat to his room and not come out. After washing clothes, he would sit on the balcony smoking, turning away and leaving as soon as he saw me, even frowning unconsciously at the sight of me. I tried to coax him with a playful smile, this time not calling his name, just pulling on him and cooing, Gugidge. He became even more displeased, until one day, he woke up to find himself bound by me. I pinned him to the bed. Forgive me quickly, or else, Li Yuani, you know the consequences. And then he forgave me. I had thought he would put up a desperate fight. Instead, he just said lightly, I forgive you. He shattered all my fantasies with a single word of forgiveness, and I resignedly let him go, dragging myself to eat. When he came out and saw my dejected appearance, he asked me a rare question, what exactly do you want? I immediately got excited and pulled out my phone to share with him. Look at this part. It's like, you're tied up by me, and then you refuse me, and then Chen Shiyuan, you're sick. You're not sick. Then why did you adopt me? If you're not sick, why do you control me so strictly every day? You even check my phone every day. If you're not sick, you've read all the novels I've read too. His face turned completely red. Chen Shiyuan, shut up. I'm doing it for your own good. I know, I understand, but you can still do it for my own good now. 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye. I've gone from 18 to 28. I never thought that one day my birth parents would find me. I stayed with my birth parents for a week, and when I returned home, Li Yuani was clearly acting strange. He was sullen and vague, his thoughts unclear, as if he was preoccupied with something. My birth parents often came to visit me. They suggested I continue staying at Ji's house, but I refused to go back. They vaguely knew it was because of Ji Jiayan, yet they were also a bit annoyed that I wanted to compete with her, resenting my refusal to be more obedient, although they didn't say these words directly. Their implications were clear. Should yield to Ji Jiayan. They said Ji Jiayan was just a child with a bit of a temper, and it would take some time for her to accept things. As long as I go back, with time, Ji Jiayan will definitely understand and accept me. I find it amusing, understanding, acceptance, letting me return to be treated like a beast of burden by Ji Jiayan, waiting for the day she tires of bullying me and mercifully lets me go. I think I'll pass. When they saw that I refused to return, they seemed somewhat remorseful and transferred me a sum of money, also sending someone to deliver many items. After Ji Jiayan found out, she came to my place twice, but Li Yuani shut the door in her face each time before she could even enter. In truth, Li Yuani didn't like my parents, and he didn't like anyone who wanted to take me away, yet, he acted magnanimous, and when my parents first came, he urged me to go back with them to visit. When I actually left for a week, he drank alone at home, brooding. Only when I said I was coming back did he perk up. He was afraid I would leave, yet stubbornly let me go time and again, probably because of a line from a book, forced love never wins true heart, let her go, and when she chooses to return, then she is truly yours. I've always enjoyed forced romance stories, and I never paid attention to that line, but Li Yuani, who stole a glance at my phone, remembered it and etched it into his mind. He tested me several times throughout the year, but when I really left, he wasn't happy about it. Yet, Li Yuani also had some sincerity. He genuinely wished I had loving biological parents, so whenever my parents came, he welcomed them. One day, my parents brought up the topic of my marriage, saying they wanted to introduce me to someone. Lee Yuanyi's face turned pale in an instant. He glared at the glass tabletop with a dark expression, and I struggled to suppress my laughter. My parents naively believed that Lee Yuanyi was just an ordinary boyfriend of mine. Not only did they talk about introducing me to someone in front of him, but they also mentioned it to me in private. My mother held my hand. Xiao Yuan, Mom knows it hasn't been easy for you in the past. You've worked hard to rise to the position of section chief on your own merit, but Xiao Yuan, you can't waste your life. A man like that has no future. With the Ji family's backing, you can find someone better, someone who can support you in your career. I laughed and pushed her hand away. Aunt Ji, you're joking. The things you gave me before, I'll return them to you, and the money, please don't transfer any more to my cards secretly. I'm a public servant. It's illegal for me to accept money from you, someone who isn't a relative. My mother froze, her face pale. Xiao Yuan, what do you mean? Are you abandoning your mother? Your father and I, we both love you. My father also frowned. Xiao Yuan, don't be willful. Your father and mother are your biological parents. I looked up. Mr. G, there are some things I need to clarify. Illegally obtaining my genetic test results is against the law. I have no parents, never had, and never will. Ji Shiyuan, my father had probably never been this angry before. His voice was extremely stern. I am your biological father. Are you going to oppose me, Mr. G? I have no parents, before, now, or in the future. Li Yuanyi and I grew up together, and he is the only one I have, so it's that man. Aren't you afraid he'll ruin your life? My father said this in a rather gloomy tone, with a hint of menace. I pondered their words, that Li Yuanyi had ruined my life. Yes, you're right, it's all Li Yuanyi's fault. He ruined my life. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been switched at birth. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have indulged Ji Jiayan so much, letting her curse at me every day. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been forced by you to find a partner. You're right, it's all his fault. Xiao Yuan, that's not what we mean. Mom and Dad also know we haven't done enough. But you have to give us time, give us a chance. I'm doing just fine, you should go back. For some reason, my mom suddenly started crying, as if her heart was aching. Xiao Yuan, Mom and Dad are sorry for you. Come home with us. Even if you don't want to go back, you should at least know who will inherit the money after we're gone. Yet there was a hint of insincerity in it. I took a step back, looked at them, and suddenly laughed. I have a home, I have money, I earn 17,000 a month, and Li Yuanyi runs a small program company. He's got money too, don't worry. I waved goodbye, but when I turned around, I saw Li Yuanyi standing right behind me. His face was no longer pale at all, and the smile on his face was impossible to hide. I approached, and he took my hand. Are you cold? I shook my head. I'm burning up. Right now, I feel like I'm the heroine of a passionate drama. Forget the story of the true and false heiresses. If I'm going to be anything, I'll be the heroine of a passionate drama. I want to strive. I want to improve. I want to save the world. How will you save it? I'm going to assist farmers in impoverished mountainous areas next month. Come with me, we'll work to eliminate poverty and narrow the wealth gap. In the future, I want everyone to be able to live in villas like the Ji families, or for no one to live in them at all. We don't need their charity, we deserve it. Li Yuanyi laughed. That's quite the dream, while others were celebrating the new year. Li Yuanyi and I were still conducting research in the countryside. In fact, over the years, whenever Li Yuanyi and I had time, we would go to the countryside to conduct research. Donating money and goods is ultimately only a temporary solution. True liberation from poverty is what lasts forever. But I never expected to run into Ji Jiayan here. She was here to donate supplies according to plan, all to polish her positive image. However, the moment she saw me, she exploded. What on earth did you do? Mom and Dad froze my card. It must be because you said something to them. So what if you're the real daughter? Ji Shiyuan, just you wait. But she didn't get to finish, as I cut her off. First of all, my name isn't Ji Shiyuan, my surname is Chen Shiyuan. The surname Chen comes from my elementary school teacher, who never married or had children in her lifetime. She registered me under her name, and I will carry the surname Chen for the rest of my life. Ji Jiayan frowned. What do you mean? My meaning is very simple. Don't be afraid. I won't take your parents away, but Ji Jiayan, you've been spoiled by your parents all your life, and you yourself feel that way too, don't you? You can't communicate properly with others, so you resort to throwing tantrums and breaking things to control others. Fortunately, you have wealthy parents who can't live without you, and they can tolerate your behavior without limits. Everyone else will also tolerate your behavior, but you. No, you can't live without your parents, so you're afraid of my presence, yet you're powerless, only able to throw tantrums and belittle me in an attempt to drive me away and keep your parents' love for yourself. Ji Jiayan was stunned, but still instinctively retorted, what are you talking about? My parents love me very much, it's because of your appearance that my parents, Ji Jiayan, don't always wait for others to give you love. Your abilities, dreams, and self-love are far more important than that illusory sense of being loved. The new year has arrived, and Li Yuanyi and I have finally saved enough money to buy a small house outright. Our little house is really small, just 69 square meters, but I didn't want to overburden myself with a mortgage. I enjoy taking control of my life with a plan, rather than being controlled by life itself, just like the past decade and more of my life. I've worked towards goals, planned to win, and left room to achieve my dreams. This is my life, and it's the life I want. But soon, Ji's parents came again, this time not as radiant as last time. They had lost a lot of weight, as if troubled by something. It wasn't until the end of the meal that they said, the company's new project has been halted due to an accident, and now the overall deficit is too severe, and the accounts have been audited. I shook my head. There are fears I cannot help you with. Everything has its natural order. No one remains wealthy forever, and no one remains poor forever. Under the currents of time, both you and I should follow the direction of development, but that's the fruit of 40 years of my hard work. Mr. Ji wept. I patted him on the shoulder and poured him a cup of tea to comfort him. People always find it hard to let go, especially when it comes to wealth. But how much money is ever enough? Actually, I was quite poor when I was a child. But Li Yuanyi always took good care of me. I marveled at his meticulous planning and then lamented how nice it would be to have money in the future. He pinched my cheek and said, it's just different ways of living for different people. After all, we're all just living. Back then, I thought it was just self-consolation, but it wasn't until I grew up that I truly understood his words. After all, we're all just living. The money he gave me, I naturally accepted. But if the money meant giving up Li Yuanyi and marrying someone else, then taking the money would be meaningless. There are always things in this world more important than money. For example, the man I swore to support for a lifetime, Li Yuanyi. Extra, Li Yuanyi. Chen Shiyuan started saying she would support me for life when she was 12, and she kept saying it for over a decade. Now she's 28, and the money she spends is still mine. I cook, I do the housework, I earn the money, and the house and car are all from my savings. I guess I'm stuck with Chen Shiyuan for life. A business partner once asked me why I work so hard. I almost laughed out loud, and in fact, I did. I have a little Pichot at home that needs money to raise. Chen Shiyuan started spending money from the moment I brought her back. She was malnourished when I first brought her home, very prone to illness. Every time she got sick, I would kneel at the hospital entrance with her in my arms. There were always kind-hearted people at the hospital who would take me and Chen Shiyuan to pay for the medical bills. There were always malicious people who would kick me as they passed by. I remained silent, bowing my head to those who walked by, begging them to save my sister. Chen Shiyuan was kept under medication for over half a year. Later, when Chen Shiyuan got much better, she started going with me to pick up trash. I would pick up trash in front, and she would run behind me. When she got tired, she would lie down on the ground and refuse to get up no matter what. When she got tired and lay there, I would drag her to the grass in the park. She fell asleep, and I fell asleep too. Later, when she woke up, she hugged me and cried, "Brother, don't die." People around were drawn in, turning to look, and amidst the crowd's murmurs, I sat up expressionlessly. The passers-by left, and Chen Shiyuan continued to follow me with a cheerful smile, pulling my hand as we walked. "Brother, can we have ice cream today?" "No, there isn't any, don't eat." Her tears were about to fall, and she wiped her eyes again. She always looked so pitiful, and in the end, I still bought her an ice pop. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. 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 Next time.